Well, holy crap, Elden Ring is looking freaking amazing. I just watched the 15-minute gameplay presentation that Bandai released, and my jaw is still firmly cemented on the floor. I still have chills from what I saw. From Software, you really know how to press my buttons. Part of my brain is telling me, don't be this excited, you've been burned before. Games have looked amazing in the past and turned out to be huge disappointments. But the other part of my brain is saying, no, not this time. This is From Software. They have never disappointed you before. I mean, even when you look at Dark Souls 2, the game is considered the weakest of the Dark Souls trilogy, the red-headed stepchild of the Dark Souls brand, if you will. It was still a fun game that I played over and over again. So now, let's begin the gushing over this really awesome gameplay trailer. The vistas shown were breathtaking. Literally, I felt my breath being removed. From Software's art team are just incredible, and the art direction here is something to be admired. You know, I'm pretty sure people will say the game's graphical fidelity is so last generation, but who cares about the fidelity when what you are seeing looks this awe-inspiring? Like, look at this castle, the birds flying around the sky. It makes you feel something, right? Like a sense of awe and wonderment. I look at this and my jaw is just agape with how amazing it looks. I couldn't care less that the game looks last generation when they can pull off this kind of aesthetic. The exploration. Oh my god, it looks great. So, to start off, it looks like fall damage has been either severely reduced or taken out of the equation entirely, and I am all for that. When the world is this big and this vertical, the last thing you really want to worry about is, you know, fall damage. I also thought the traveling with the horse looked really cool, and it looks like you can instantly call for it and it teleports right underneath your butt. How convenient. The horse also has a double jump, which, you know, that's kind of cute, right? Also, there are these like jumping pad thingies you can use to fly up the side of a mountain. Very, very cool. They are also putting in a map feature, which is something you aren't used to having in a From Software game. But now that they are embracing an open world system, it kind of makes sense to have a map. And the map has a gorgeous look to it. I just love the aesthetic. You can place markers for like locations, treasures, tough enemies. You know, like you can do in most open world games. There are enemies roaming around the world as well, and it looks like you can choose to engage with them, or just run on past and do your own thing. I love that. It makes the world feel alive, and events are occurring even if you aren't engaging with them. I feel like that will make the game so much more immersive. They mentioned that there are even bosses that you can find roaming around in the wild. How awesome is that? The other thing they showed, while exploring, a dragon from the distance literally comes swooping in and attacks you. That is freaking awesome. I don't know if this was a boss fight or scripted. Even if it was a scripted boss fight, it was still really cool to see. Also, much like Sekiro, stealth is back. I mean, hey, who doesn't enjoy going around and silently dispatching an entire camp of enemies before they even know what hit them? I loved it in Sekiro, I loved it in Ghost of Tsushima, and I'm sure I'll love it here too. They also showed off stealth through this forest with all these crazy looking creatures that are apparently very dangerous. It looked very tense, and I honestly can't wait to engage with it. Lastly, they showed off some dungeon exploration, and yeah, if you remember Sen's Tower from Dark Souls, what they showed looked pretty similar to that, with these huge blades dropping from the ceiling, enemies lurking behind every corner, and it looks like a lot of fun. Also, it looks like the beloved illusionary walls are back in this game, so get ready to smack some walls to find hidden treasures. And that treasure chest I spy, is the chain making a smile? Will there be frowning chains as well? They mentioned that you can tackle dungeon exploration in many ways, so they're making it open with many paths for players to discover, and so that you don't have to go down a linear path. This is getting me more and more excited to play this game. The combat looks bloody amazing. You know, one of the weakest aspects of Elder Scrolls is that the combat is always just so lackluster. That doesn't appear to be the case here. What it appears to be is very similar to Dark Souls' style of combat, which I am all for. I did enjoy Sekiro, don't get me wrong, but I love all the options that Dark Souls style of combat allows. The spell effects look insane. Every single spell they showed off just looks incredible, and it's really pushing me to think over my usual choices for class in these kind of games. You can also summon different types of spirits to aid you in combat, not to be confused with summoning players, which is a very different thing in this game. And the boss fight, one of the big bads, you know, a boss behind a fog wall, was creepy and deformed, and the fight itself was quite the spectacle. The moveset looks like a lot of fun to figure out as well, and it looks like there will be additional phases. At some point, an arm-like fire-breathing dragon head grows out of his body. That's really weird, right? And it can grab the player and toss them around like a rag doll. I don't even know what else to say about this fight. It looks incredible. And is that really surprising? From Software has been knocking it out of the park when it comes to boss fights for a while now. February, you can't get here soon enough. I cannot wait to sink my teeth into this game. You know, it looks like Elder Scrolls has another game to contend with in the open world market, and with the amazing looking combat and a story being written by George R.R. Martin, the writer of A Song of Ice and Fire, I wonder if they're shaking in their boots a little bit. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day. The link to the full video is in the description below. Take care, and thanks again.